Okay, so I'm gonna upgrade from this camera. This camera is the Canon M50 with a Sigma 16mm 1.4 aperture. This is just recording straight out of the camera. There's no lights on, there's nothing. But why am I changing? Okay, so firstly, I'll just say why I actually bought the camera in the first place. I started this channel about 8 months ago. I wanted to get a camera that wasn't too expensive, too complicated. I wanted something out of the box. I wanted something that when I press record, the footage looks great and also it can track me. This camera is insane and I absolutely love it. But there are a few things on this camera why I wanted to change from it. I was getting a bit frustrated. So here are the few things. The number one reason that I wanted to change this camera is the fact that I can only record up to 1080p HD. And I know this is advertised as a 4K camera, which is brilliant. And that's what kind of hooked me in, but it's so cropped and you can't really use the footage. And even if you do use 4K, you don't get that dual pixel autofocus at the front of the camera, which means that you might be in focus, you might not, and what's the point? You know, you might as well just stick to 1080p, which is fine if you're a beginner. The second reason, it's hard. It's really hard. It's the battery life. And to me, I've had to buy an additional couple I've had to buy 2 extra batteries, no problem. But the thing is, I'm recording probably 10-15 minute episodes. By the time that I record the episode, which may take half an hour due to bloopers, whatever, and then trying to transfer it onto my computer, that battery is dead, then I've got to charge it again. No big deal. With me, I find it a little bit frustrating, but that's it. I'm literally clutching at straws as to why I wanted an upgrade. I can't fault this camera. It is amazing. The colors look insane. I haven't even got lights on in the background. I wanted 4K. I wanted to have that crisp 4K imagery. I wanted to be able to shoot slow motion, and I wanted to be shooting in f-log as well, which means that you have more control over what comes out of that camera. Whereas the Canon M50, you can't shoot in f-log, which means that it's not a base color where you can just play around and highlight, accentuate, etc. Why else don't I like this camera? I'm not sure. But if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you haven't got a camera yet and you think which one to buy, I love this camera. And the reason I'm shooting it without lights is because I want you to see what it looks like basically as you press on and you hit record. The only modification that I've made to this camera, and I bought it with a kit lens, I wanted that blurry background, that bokeh, right? And you can't get that blurry background with the kit lens. So that means that you need a specialist lens. The lens that everybody kept raving about was the one that is attached on this camera right now, which is the Sigma 16mm 1.4. If you get the Canon M50 and the Sigma lens, you're pretty much good to go for less than $1,000 or £1,000. But as you grow and you produce more videos and you find yourself editing on your computer more and you're working with your camera weekly, there are things that you have user-centric preferences, and that's what you develop. And you see things on other people's YouTube channels, or you see things that the camera doesn't have and you want it. And this is why I wanted the upgrade. I wanted to be able to move into 4K, shoot slow-mo. I wanted to go way more technical, whereas at the start, this camera is insane. And to be honest, I'll probably still keep it. But I wanted to move more towards a talking head in the Fujifilm. Okay, so this is the upgrade. This is the Fujifilm x-t4, and I didn't buy a kit lens with this, and the reason being is because with the Canon M50, I bought the kit lens. I never use it. I only have the Sigma attached, and that's glued to the camera. So this lens is 16-55. It's a 2.8 aperture. It's not as blurry in the background, but I'm okay with that. I haven't put a light on. I've just left it with the natural light, where normally I would light up the videos a bit more, but this is the camera and this is in 4K. I'm so happy with the image. But conclusion, you don't have to buy these sort of cameras as you begin. This camera is amazing, the Canon M50, and add the Sigma lens on the front and you've got that incredible talking head bokeh background, which you've just seen with pretty much turned on and press record. So I'm really, really happy with this lens. And if you've got, say, limited budget, or you're entry level, or you're looking for something to vlog, insane camera. But then you can upgrade. You might find that as you get more into your filming, that you think, actually, there are some things that I'm missing from this camera where I wish I could have control over. And that's where you can look into either the same ecosystem, like Canon, for example, or if those cameras aren't offering the things that you want, then you can change. And this is the reason why I wanted to move to Fuji. I wanted to have like that different style of imagery that comes out of it. I wanted to have that Fujifilm photos where I can create my thumbnails a bit differently. I just love the way the Fujifilm colors come out, and that's the reason why I upgraded it. So you don't have to stick Canon to Canon. If you're in the ecosystem and you love the cameras, you love the way they operate, that's fine. And if you've bought lenses and they're compatible with the upgraded camera, then amazing. But if not, and it's entry level, then this camera is amazing. And you can make a decision. I recommend this camera. Well, you can see this is me talking head. Do you like the way it looks? If not, then you might have another preference. Sony have incredible cameras, Canon have incredible cameras, even Panasonic are coming out with the S5, which is, the S5 looks insane, and it was a toss-up between this camera and the Sony a7 III. But this is just an intro video as to what the Canon M50 looks like straight out of the box, and what the filming could look like if you just make a slight adjustment with the lens, why I've upgraded, and what the difference is between the two. So hopefully you can see, okay, the Canon looks pretty similar. It might look completely different. It might look well, obviously it'll look different because this is 4K and that's 1080p, but you might not see too much dissimilarities. You might think, oh, I like that camera, or I might go to the Fuji. Anyway, I'm gonna put all of the links into the description of what the cameras are, what the lenses are, and if you like what you're seeing, and if you add a light on top of it, it will just explode the vision. So actually, stay there for a minute. Okay, so I've put on a light. I've also put in the background light as well. I've still got my natural daylight coming through. So if I turn that off, this is what this will look like. This is what the Fujifilm x-t4 looks like, with a ring light, a background light, and no natural light coming through. So if you like the look of this video, then these are just a couple of adjustments that you can actually make to make your videos pop. I'll show you what it looks like with a Canon as well. So this is the Canon camera now with the Sigma lens, no light coming through, just a ring light and a background light. So you can see what the difference is between the start of the video and the end of the video. I mean, this looks so much darker than the Fujifilm. If I move it towards the light, I mean, that looks so cool. It's so moody and crisp. I really, really like it. What do you think anyway? What would you think is the better setup, this or the Fuji? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so you've seen a side-by-side comparison now. Well, it wasn't really side-by-side, it was just cutting in and out, but you know what I mean. What do you think's better? Do you prefer the Canon look, which is half the price of this camera? Or do you prefer this kind of style, where yes, it's 4K, it looks a little bit different to the camera for sure, but I like both of them. If you're starting off and you think what camera to use, you've now seen what the Canon M50 looks like with just a simple adjustment of just getting a new lens. I highly recommend the Sigma if you're doing talking heads. What it looks like without a ring light, what it looks like with a ring light, what it looks like if you've got no light coming through and you've just got your ring light and a background light there. You've seen all the different scenarios for both cameras, and that's what I wanted to make this video about. I want to make it around visualization, because yes, we can get too technical with some of these videos and I just get so confused and I'm just going down the rabbit hole. All I want to see is, what the hell does this image look like that comes out of camera? Is it going to look good or not? And this is not technical specific. This is just me turning on the camera, showing the different scenarios, and yeah, hope you like the results. If this adds value, then please feel free to like the video, or if you want to leave a comment, let me know what you think of each camera. What camera are you using? Would love to know. But anyway, take care. Bye-bye.